Hello, everyone. My name is Fausto. I live in Brazil. I have some Portuguese students in US, also in UK and Argentina. And I need to tell them what's happening here in Brazil. And I will not use their class time to talk about it. So I'm recording this quick video. And the situation is more serious than it looks because the numbers are getting really bad now. But the point is that we don't have what it takes to defend ourselves from this increasing number of cases that we're having in a moment when we have already a lot of people dying in lines for ICUs in hospitals. It happened before in the north of Brazil, but it was one state, and this one state could send patients to other hospitals in other states of the country, and this hospital could also receive material, medicines, and doctors, physicians, nurses from other parts of the country, and now we're having a collapse pretty much everywhere. And well, 1 year ago, Yuval Harari, writer, in with brilliant perception of the democracies and the way that they've been attacked now. In a conversation with Mark Zuckerberg, he said, "You don't have to destroy democracy if you have control over what people think and their perception of reality." And the truth is, we're having a lab here because Steve Bannon, through Cambridge Analytica, he helped the Brexit. He elected Trump, and he also elected Bolsonaro. In United States and Brazil elections used pretty much the same strategies, and they kept people in their bubbles being bombarded with lies, memes, messages, and they took control over what people believe, what people think, and how they perceive the world they live in. And that's what's happening in Brazil. This is Lena, our baby. And what's happening in Brazil is that we are a very poor country. Although we have many intellectuals, many professionals, we we have a lot of social difference, and more than half of the country can barely read or have access to the internet. And the phone operator plans here, they they charge you very expensive fees if you want to browse the internet freely and if you want to make free phone calls. But in case you cannot afford for expensive internet access, they sell you a very cheap pack where you're not gonna have free access to the internet, but at least you will receive messages from WhatsApp Messenger. That it's like it is an app of messages where people receive a lot of pictures and videos. It's basically a way to have access to the internet for free, though you cannot browse the internet yourself. You only make part of some groups and you rely on what people send you. It means that more than half of our population doesn't have access to information. They only get fed by what their friends send them. And the point is, what their friends send them is also limited by what they receive from their friends. And if nobody starts anything, then nobody has any content because they are not browsing this internet because they don't pay for it. So the only thing that they can do is to receive messages. And the point is, we have an industry generating memes and lies about this pandemic. And these lies are just killing people. Because if you come to Brazil now, you will see that half of our people still don't believe that this virus kills. And they think it was created in a lab in China. They believe that vaccines don't work and want to take control of your brain. they believe that we already have good medicines for this virus that doesn't exist. So the pandemic doesn't exist, but we have good medicines against it, and it doesn't have to make sense as long as it leaves people confused, unable to discuss and to learn what's happening around them. So the point is, we're having medicines for the liver, for the stomach, for different diseases being prescribed to people that get COVID. And they are very likely to work because COVID kills 1% of the people who get it. Like, whatever you take, whatever medicine you take, you have 99 probability of getting rid of it in 2 weeks. And if you're 1%, then you're going to need maybe a hospital, a respirator, and you will need medical help, and eventually you will escape or you die. And these 50% of the people are not having access to the reality of the hospitals in their entire country, not even in their state. They only know that their city hospital is crowded, and they are saying that people are only that bad because they are not taking the cold medicines quick enough. Trump made a lot of advertisement over chloroquine, and when it was proved that it didn't work, he sent us all, loads, tons of these medicines, and people take these and other medicines expecting that they are going to survive. And the point is, they all get infected, they all take the medicines, 99% of them survive, and 1%, the 1% who die, they die in their narrative because they didn't take the medicine quick enough. And we have our president saying that they can do that, or they just follow the former health minister who said that you need to go to the hospital only when you're out of breath. It is so complicated because he mocks people who die out of breath, mimicking them, and saying that they only die under these conditions because they are stupid, because they didn't take this medicine quickly enough, soon enough. And so, in their narrative, through lies on WhatsApp messages, this pandemic doesn't exist. If you get it, it's your fault. You're not going to die if you take my medicines. And if you die, it's your fault that you didn't take the medicine early enough. And we're trying to stay home. We're trying to stay away of people because this pandemic has terrible consequences to the economy. And of course, we have bills to pay. We need to buy food, and people are deprived from their jobs. They can't make money, and of course they're living in a desperate situation. And what the president of the country does is, this pandemic doesn't exist, go work. And if you don't work, it's because the governor of your state is prohibiting you, and he is evil, and he want you people to starve to death. Don't listen to him and go to work. How is this not genocide? We have specific groups that have big influence in our Congress, and they are basically the owners of the land, of agriculture, because 1% of the population won't own it all. And you have drug dealers, and you have these Neopentecostal pastors who take the money of the people who don't understand the reality around them. These churches, they don't want people at their homes because they need to go to the church regularly, or they don't get their daily doses of insaneness that make them give all their money to the pastor, to the church, expecting rewards from God. these churches want these people to go to church every day, even if 1% of them die, because it's better you have like 99% of the followers giving them money than leaving the churches empty for 6 months and then lose all the effect of the brainwashing that you have done against them. So they ally to the president, they team up with the president, and you have the president of the country through these messages sent by messages apps, and you have the leaders, the religious leaders, telling the people that they should not stay home and that they need to go to work, they need to make money, and they need to go to the temple to give their sacrifices to avoid getting this virus from this pandemic that doesn't exist and doesn't kill people. And people are getting sick, and when they die, it's because they didn't have faith enough, or because they didn't take the medicine soon enough. And the leader of the biggest churches among them all made a campaign against the vaccine, and he says that this vaccine has no scientific base, no approval, that it's risky, and that Brazilians are to be the guinea pig of the vaccine. So if you can't read, if you can't have access to the internet, and if you listen to your president through these messages saying that this pandemic doesn't exist, and you hear to the pastor you trust the most in your life saying that the vaccine is a poison that might kill you, then how can you defend yourself from it? And the point is, Brazilians who have education, they are looking at this 50% of the people, and they see that they are not wearing masks. They see that they are not taking care, and they say these people are hopeless because they are stupid, they don't care about the others around them, and they deserve to die. How do they deserve to die if they cannot defend themselves from the genocide they're suffering? So this is 30 minutes that I don't want to waste from my students' classes, but at least I think it makes clear what's happening here and why, while the numbers of COVID cases in the US decrease sharply, they are skyrocketing in Brazil. I wish there was something I could do to change our fate, but tell me how.